I'm Underkill. Welcome to another video. Today I want to talk to you about Gen Z and do they really hate cars? I feel as though you can't really lump one generation into hating vehicles because, let's face it, most people don't modify their cars. I think a lot of people just put a lot of hate on other generations. Look at millennials. We had a different generation of cars as well. If you go back to just the 90s itself, you don't really see people doing the type of cars they did then. You don't see rices, you don't see sex spec cars. Yes, you can still see generations where they put terrible mods onto cars, but you don't really see people putting the amount of effort that they always put into their cars, like you do with older generations. I think that's because through the years, people had more opportunities. Right now, we have just gone through probably the worst 2 years economically ever. And that's just not even the start of 2008 crash as well. I think there's been a decline in a lot of modifications for cars, mostly because I think the demographic of car people have changed as well, especially over the last 10 years. I think that's because it's what we want out of a car now. I feel like a lot of the younger generations now want more fuel efficient and A to B cars that look good and they don't have to do anything too. But I also feel like it's the change of governments over the past 10 years as well. It's not just the people, it's also the governments. Look at California, you can't even change your exhaust now, otherwise you get a modified ticket. There's also countries that you can't even do anything like change your tires to without being defective. So I feel like it's out of our control really to become a car guy. I think it's also the change of freedom of expression and how people express themselves. I think COVID has had a lot to do with this change as well. I feel like bikes are on a comeback, and not just because of the BookTok girls. I think people are just looking for some more freedom in their day-to-day life, and I think bikes right now are doing it better. I feel like right now it's the four-wheel drive game. I think it's the mid-size SUV car that can take the family basically anywhere, camping, holidays, and just back to work. But I also feel like people have also lost the opportunity to go from A to B to C to D. I feel like right now it's people can only go to A to B. So what's the point of thinking about C and D? I feel like the cars will always be there, but right now with the cost of living the way it is, I don't see why people would go from A to B and then think about C and D. I feel like modifying your car is something that people do for fun and because they're addicted to cars themselves. I don't think cars are going to change, but I think car people will change the way they modify their cars, like they have done over the years. I think it's just for the time being, the next generation just have to figure out what they want to do with themselves. Look at us. We've all changed the way we've seen cars and the way we've modified them too, especially over the years. So I feel like, in conclusion, Gen Z don't hate cars. They really just can't fucking afford